Hello everyone, how about today we find out what happens when you lied about your work experience? Hoo boy.
As political reporter Lloyd Burr explains, it's testing the skills of self-proclaimed merger expert Christopher Luxon.
Negotiations really testing the skills of Luxon, who's talked a big game.
I've done a lot of mergers and acquisitions, and I've done a lot of negotiations, getting the chemistry and getting the relationship right.
When the chemistry is wrong, it goes wrong. When Luxon was the boss of Air New Zealand, his acrimonious relationship with Virgin Australia's boss, John Borghetti, saw him quit Virgin's board and sell Air New Zealand's stake, losing tens of millions of dollars.
I've done a lot, obviously, in my business life at Unilever and also at Air New Zealand.
Now, because I'm a bit of a nerd, I decided to look up those mergers and acquisitions he claims to have done at Unilever. And here is the nice long list of all the Unilever acquisitions and disposals. Well, the list actually is not all that long, to be honest, particularly when you isolate it to the time period Goldilocks actually worked for them. Luxon worked for Unilever in Wellington and Sydney from 1993 to 2000. Let's check that mergers and acquisitions list. Nope, none completed in that time frame in those regions of the world. But let's be fair, he was just fresh out of university, so possibly not at that part of his career yet. Maybe all that mergers and acquisitions experience happened when he was in London. Well, his title was Global Deodorants and Grooming Category Director. Unilever did indeed make massive acquisitions in 2000 and 2001, but these were American-based food brands, and the billions of dollars spent making the deals were not done by Luxon, even though he has all that experience selling deodorant. The acquisition of Best Foods, Ben & Jerry's, and SimFast were the only acquisitions made in the 2000s, and all were completed by 2001. These are all food brands, and even after Luxon moved to Chicago in 2003, he was still only looking after deodorants. His new job title, but really the same job title, was Regional Category Vice President Deodorants and Grooming North America. In 2008, Luxon moved to Toronto and had leadership roles within Unilever. But were there mergers and acquisitions? Yes. And lo and behold, they were soap and skincare brands. But one was completed after he left and was done in Europe, and the other was in America, the Alberto Culver acquisition. It's possibly a deal he worked on, but he didn't live in the US by the time it was signed, nor did his job title seem to include deodorant anymore. But it is possible he was maybe present for one acquisition. It's notable that after this transaction happened, they shut down an American factory and laid off 600 workers. So let's just remind ourselves of what Luxon proclaimed on this topic.
I've done a lot of mergers and acquisitions, and I've done a lot of negotiations, getting the chemistry and getting the relationship right.
Of dollars.
I've done a lot, obviously, in my business life at Unilever and also at Air New Zealand.